I'm Gelbart555, and today I'm continuing my series of MASH retro reviews with Season 5, Episode 15, The Most Unforgettable Characters. So, the main premise of this episode is that Radar is trying to improve his writing, so he's starting to use a lot of superfluous vocabulary, i.e., he's using big fancy words that as one, not appreciated on military reports, and two, is not him. And essentially what he does learn in this episode is that it's not him. That being fancy, that's just not how he writes. Meanwhile, Hawkeye and BJ decide to give Frank a birthday present. And you know what they decided to give Frank for his birthday? Them fighting. Which is hilarious. But I think that is kind of a good way of doing it when you think about it. Sure, they're not big fans of Frank, but they also don't like when Frank's miserable because they get miserable. So they decided the best way of making Frank happy was to fight. And it worked. Because that's what Frank gets into. And then, of course, Frank also eggs them fighting on. He doesn't know that they're fighting just for his birthday, so fake fighting, but he does egg it on. And it actually seems like it's egging on to the point where it actually might become a real fight. Thankfully per se, Radar's like, he basically says, hey, I don't like it that you're fighting, and that's when they reveal that they were just fighting to make Frank happy. And then Frank complains that Radar ended his happiness. He can still be happy, but hey, that's just the way it ended up going. And this episode, too, is somewhat similar to the letter home format that we've seen in previous episodes, like the Dear Dad episodes. There's been a few others as well. But this one is through Radar's reports, but it's, him using that superfluous vocabulary that's not him. And so it's a pretty good, fun episode. There's a lot of, just small little activity and stuff because, of where it goes, of the format encourages that kind of stuff to happen. Another thing that we see, too, is another stunt by Klinger to get out of the army. So, he decides to fake, set himself on fire. So, he just gets some gas cans filled with water. Bonaparte suspects suspects a trick is going on. So, he convinces Klinger to go talk over in his office, and he gives instructions to replace the water with actual gasoline. So, when he fails to talk Klinger out of it, Klinger goes, dumps some more, what he thinks is just water on him, and realizes it's not water and freaks out, proving that he was just faking it. It is just, a fun episode overall. There's not too much other, stuff, for lack of a better term. There's nothing too major or anything like that. It's just a good, fun episode with a lot of good, fun vignettes and some pretty good advice. Like, first, where Bonaparte tells Radar learns this is, be himself. Use your own words. Don't use other people's words. And that is a message that is still valid today. When you guys want to write something, don't turn to AI. Think about how you want to say something, write it down. It's okay to do multiple drafts. You don't need to use AI. And yes, I'm taking a old lesson from this episode and applying to the modern day because some people need to learn that lesson. But that's what I got to say. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my latest retro review. I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please be sure to give this video a like. Also, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I hope to see you for my very next video.